to the club. All right, everyone. So congratulations on making it to week 4. I know last week of August, just before kids go back to school, this course is being built into its own board. So now that we've done all the content, we're going to wrap it up tonight. We should probably only be hanging out about a half an hour, and then we'll do some draws for those of you who all showed up tonight. Your names will go in. And we will build it into a board so that you will be able to have it added to your boards on your phone. So if you ever need to go back and be like, oh, I just need to like a refresher on how to invite again. I just need a refresher on building lists again. You'll be able to go back and listen to those lessons, but also after you've done all this work and your team starts to grow, then you're going to be able to, with the people that actually want to build the business, you're going to have a tool that you can send them and say, hey, listen, like I'll walk, let's do this 1 week at a time. There's homework and activity every week. It builds your skill set, and you're going to have a 4-week recruiting course that now is a tool to create growth in your business. All right. So this is really an amazing opportunity. So we're going to talk about what we discussed over the last few weeks. We're going to do just a quick kind of overview and review. But before I do, was there any questions, frustrations, any roadblocks, any successes? Like, is there anything anyone wants to share kind of about their experience, really plugging in, learning?
My biggest fallback is always the rejection. It seems to still beat me down a lot all the time, because it's like, yeah, they show a lot of interest. And then when I keep pursuing them and even phone and talk to them, then I'm ghosted. And it's like, yeah. So then you just kind of,
yeah,
not that you want to give up, but it just kind of lack of confidence.
And you'll get a thicker skin to it, Donna, for sure. It's something that we all have to go through. I think it's really important to remember that somebody else's decision has absolutely nothing to do with us. Sometimes it's just a season of life that they're in. They're not quite ready to commit, maybe finances, they've got something expensive that's just come up. So, we tend to take it personally. And a really great book that helped me years ago is called The Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. You may have already read it. But what she talks about is in perfectionism and in this needing outward validation. So I grew up with a mom who didn't have my grandma was a good woman, but my grandma wasn't super kind and supportive to my mom. So my mom grew up with this people-pleasing desire. She just needed that outside validation. And if people didn't agree or were upset with her, it really troubled her, like it hurt her. And I grew up watching that going, oh gosh, like I hope I don't hang my own self-approval on what other people are thinking. But there's a lot of people who experience that. And that outside validation, or people to say yes or to jump on board, it actually doesn't mean anything about us at all. It has to do with the timing in their own lives. And what we do in our business is we give information. We give them information around good products. We give them information around healthy living. We give them information on growing their own foods. We give them information on our business opportunity or an opportunity to save money. But their decision is not a reflection of us. So if you're feeling like the rejection is really tough, then just, have that, come up with an affirmation or a mindset or some sort of practice that says, this isn't about me. I'll give you guys another example. My son's 20. He works at Canadian Tire. He really likes his job, but the management at his particular Canadian Tire is really unhealthy. They have like group chats about the staff, and like the managers are constantly talking about each other. It's like this super, super unhealthy environment. And my son recently found out that he had been the topic of one of the chats, and he works really hard. He hasn't called in sick once. He's building his self-esteem as a young man, and he was really upset. And I said to him, don't own that. don't take on their stuff and call it yours. Like, you show up on time, you don't call in sick, you work your butt off, you're doing the best that you can. If they don't like it, ain't your problem. So keep that in mind, right? Like, I know sometimes this outside stuff, but when you're like, okay, not right now, then when they come back, or it makes it easy to circle back around and re-invite them. And we talked last week about when we're doing follow-ups, finding something to give them, building trust, continuing, and just realize that when the time is right, our only job is to be the person they think of, right? We often, like, we don't watch a commercial for a Toyota and jump up and run out the door and buy a Toyota, but the next time we need a car, we think about what we've been exposed to. When they want to get healthy, they're going to think about the person that's always showing up in their feed. They're going to think about the person who's inviting them to healthy living events. They're going to think about the person who gave them information on products. If we don't do that work, we don't get an opportunity to be that person. If we don't share our product journey, we don't give the opportunity to inspire somebody else to start a product journey. If we don't share our business journey, we don't give people an opportunity to have their own business journey. So Crystal says, same as me, Donna, lots of ghosting after hours of sharing and building relationships. I don't take it personally. I'm just finding it very difficult to build a business, wondering if I'm doing something wrong when it comes to initial message, or how often I am reaching out to see how they're making out. But yeah, and just gauge it. So a couple tricks we talked about last week too is create curiosity. Right? You guys are all curious about what's being released tomorrow. You're like, can't wait till after the meeting, because then we're going to all find out, right? You create curiosity. Did you know our highest state of functioning is when we're curious or confused? Why do you think we turn down the radio when we can't find the address we're looking for? Right? Because we're in a heightened state of awareness and there's distractions. So when you share a lot of really good information, that's excellent information, but they don't need anything else from you until they want to make a decision, because you've given it to them, right? So creating curiosity. I like to talk to people about, hey, I got an idea, or I've got products that I think would help you, or, I've got this really great opportunity. I'd love to put it in front of you and just get your opinion, right? What I'm doing is I'm creating curiosity. Somebody says to me, hey, Alyssa, I saw this thing that, oh my gosh, you absolutely have to look at, because I know if anyone knows anything about this, you're going to know something about this. And then they're like, can we, I'm going to be like, tell me. So Robin says, I have told a few people that I did not want to bug them, and they assured me that I am not. It made me feel better. Absolutely. Yeah. And if you've sent a few messages or whatever, and they're ghosting you, you can say, hey, I'm really sorry. You can apologize and be like, I wasn't trying to bug. I just, I'm really passionate about this and I wanted to share it. The other thing you can do to get people engaged is, is there anybody that you know of who you think would benefit or like these? I remember John Maxwell, I took his certification course years ago to learn how to be a good leader. And he said that the question that's made him the most money out of any question in the planet is, who do you know who I should know? Yeah, absolutely, Carol. It's such great advice. It's hard even when bringing it up in a conversation. And bringing it up is, sometimes it's just, this is what I'm doing. People always ask, what's new with you? Wow, honestly, I feel really good. I've been working on my health. I've been improving my nutrition. I've been walking daily. I've been growing my own food. I just did a post about canning. But I don't know if you noticed, I got a few comments and likes, because that's what we're doing. We're sharing our journey. And we're looking for people who are ready for the journey, right? We don't get to decide when that is. Such a great topic. Okay, let's go into today's lesson, and then we'll see if you guys still have some questions afterwards. I think this is the right presentation. We're about to find out. Okay. So let's just do a quick review of what we had focused on in the previous weeks. And please keep using the comments. Feel free to unmute yourself and share as well. So week one, we covered a lot. We really launched this program. We did money mindset. Some of you were in that, some of you were not. We'll bring it back. But, we talked about the importance of what we're telling ourselves. That conversation that we're having with ourselves is going to have a huge influence on our results. We talked about the importance of having targets. If you're getting 5 customers, 10 customers, if you're hitting a position, that you are likely not to hit a target until the moment you decide in your mind, no matter what, I'm going to figure out how to do this and I'm going to do it. We talked about time commitment. How are you fitting the business in? How can you be consistent? Because one of the things that's required to really be successful in this industry is some consistencies, and we talked about DMO. We discussed the importance of working a list, and I want you to think about what ones you've implemented as we go along here, and then what ones you want to add in or still need to work on as we move into September. Are you actively working a list? Are you tracking? I know, Crystal, you're doing a great job of that. Honestly, it pays. That's really all salespeople. I've got some amazing sales books right here. And those sales books are all kinds of different sales books written by some of the best salesmen in the world. And they all talk about tracking and taking good care of people and solving their problems, but more importantly, tracking and following up. And we talked about follow-up statistics last week. Booking meetings was our whole goal. So oftentimes when we're prospecting, we can think we're doing a little bit more than we are because we've commented, we've sent messages, we've done the engaging thing. But the reality is the sales and the enrollment come from meetings. You got to get on the phone, you got to book a coffee date, book a Zoom, do a 3-way call, use a tool. The meetings are so important, and that is our goal. So Janice says, I finally pulled my big girl panty and spoke to someone that scares me. Listen, I had a 3-way call and she is joining. Right? You know what Janice did? She booked a meeting, right? The meeting is the most important. Your goal as you continue through and outside of this program and into the next month is how can you get a meeting a day? Just a meeting a day. It could be like a meeting with your customer. Hey, can I give you a call and see, how you're doing, get some feedback, see how I can better support you. And hey, by the way, do you know of anyone that would really benefit from this? Could we add them to 500 families? Do you want to open a 3-way call? There is unlimited ways to get meetings. And the other target was to have guests on Tuesday nights. Guests on Tuesday nights is going to sell products. It's going to open people's eyes to the opportunity because they're seeing how we're serving people. And it also is going to build retention with your customers. That was all week 1, which is pretty awesome, right? But remember, these are things that moving forward, you want to keep doing. Janice says, I booked a session where to try to access bars. Let's say Taco Juice Plus. Yeah, exactly. Week 2, why frontline pays more. We talked about why growing your frontline pays you the most and why it's an important part of your business building activity. Sometimes what happens is we get a couple great people inside our business and then we think, oh, you know what, I'm going to sit back and help them grow their business. But really, at the end of the day, the wider your frontline is, the more profitable your business is. The focus is to continue to get meetings and have guests on Tuesday nights using list mindset time blocking from week 1. We did that in week 2. And the goal was to do things that grow your frontline and eventually teach your team to do the same. So what you guys are experiencing, this ghosting, this worry about rejection, or not necessarily, doing the work and not necessarily getting the results that you want in the timeline that you want it. You have to go through that in order to lead someone else through it. If you don't go through something, you can't lead through it. And this is the nature of the industry. Our business is harder than most businesses, but it's also more rewarding than any other business on the planet. Your products are done for you. They're shipped to your customers. The company takes care of payment. They do all the testing, all the stuff. They put all of the marketing materials. They house the websites. They do everything for us. All we have to do is get people to use the products or to share the products, right? That's amazing. But it comes with its own challenges, but the rewards are bigger here than anywhere else. And social media, we talked about this, doing a post, and I know Robin did, and I think Heather, you might have as well. Social media posts, the benefits of our business attached to your personal story. So just sharing a little bit, because a lot of times we're not doing that. I recently did a kind of a biography post, and I ended up getting 2 calls from that post, people sharing a little bit of information around themselves. I just invited at the end, send me a DM, tell me about you. And I had 2 people who did, we had genuine conversation and we done calls. Week 3, inviting events and closing. We talked about creating curiosity to get the meeting, right? So one of the pitfalls sometimes is that we have really good information and we give them too much of the right information, which is awesome because they have the right information, but it also is bad because they don't need you anymore. When they want to make that decision, they've already got the information. So the goal is to create curiosity. We also talked about being aware of our mindset. What are we telling ourselves about our results? Because that often shows up in our results. We looked at how to invite and what to invite to, the types of events, and then closing. Are you feeling ready to get started? The most sales close because somebody asked them to. And we use the example of, we have somebody who shared all the information, maybe gave out samples, and then they find out that person became a customer somewhere else. And when I always say, did you ask for the sale? The answer is no. You got to ask the yes or no question. Yes means get them started. No means not right now. Keep supporting them. Keep them on your list. Now, the biggest goal all month in this program has been to book meetings and share the products in the business. So finding out your goal is not to convince people or just be able to get them to go, yeah, send me your link, I want to order. That's awesome if you got that. That is like exceptional. But the goal ultimately is to build relationships and connections to book the meeting. It's in the meeting, you can find out what problems you need to solve. It's in the meeting that you're going to be able to customize or share your story more genuinely. And it's in the meeting that people are going to join your team or get the information that they need. And we also use social media to get the meeting, right? We're creating curiosity through our social media posts, through our interactions, through our comments, and we're trying to get the meeting. There's lots of ways. I looked up a whole bunch of local business people and said, hey, I'm new to this area. I don't really know you very well. Would you be open to doing a Zoom with me? I'd love to share about my business and I'd love to learn about yours. Think of how simple that is, right? You could book those with all kinds of people in your area. And it's important to remember that it's what you want that will drive you forward. So if you're not clear about what it is that you're creating for your life, then spend some time on that, because the moment you know what you want this to do for your life, it's just a vehicle. It's a good vehicle. It's a good work vehicle. We're helping people vehicle, whether they're getting more nutrition, growing their own food, or adding income or saving money. Like, it's a good vehicle. But what's going to drive you forward is knowing exactly what you want it to do for you. What is that? Where's that vehicle taking you? What is the quality of life? What are the things you're gaining? What are the things you're being able to let go of? That's what's going to drive you forward. It is the only thing that has driven me forward. And if you're not clear, you're going to find that you feel really stuck. So this is super, super important. So we're going to talk about skill number 6 in the GoPro book about helping your new distributor get started right, because you've learned all the things, right? We've talked about, look at what we covered in those first three weeks. You have the things to be successful. What we want to do now is think about how are we helping other people be successful quickly or in their own time, right? Some people are in the company for a while before they decide to do the business. So when we're helping people, there's really a few parts to this. And number one, this is right from the GoPro book, because I love to teach that. What I love about the GoPro book is that any challenge you have in your business can actually be solved under one of the skills. So if you're like, I don't have enough people, then you go to the list building skill. If you're not growing your business, you might go to the inviting skill, the presenting skill. This is about helping your team be successful. So in this first part, what you want to do is make sure you let them know what a great decision your new partner's made. Sometimes like people do something, they're like, oh my gosh, I hope this isn't a bad idea. What are my friends gonna say? Oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I have any time. Like all of that doubt and worry can show up in these in these moments. So you want to be like, you know what? You made a great decision. I tell everyone when they start the products, you made a smart decision. I'm really glad that you did that. Reinforce they've made a good decision. Give them some peace because they may or may not get that from everyone else around them. So you let them know, hey, listen, like I know you're new and you don't have an experience, but listen, I've been around for a little while and our community is awesome. Our health education is amazing. Our products are phenomenal. You made a good decision. Ask what their goals are. You know, some of them are just going to want to offset their product costs. Some of them are going to want to bring home more money. Some of them might have a job that they want to get away from or want to be able to stay home and raise their kids. Talk to them, ask them before you start telling them how to do the business. Figure out what it is that you need to tell them. Right. The next part is to help set expectations for new team members. So sometimes with network marketing, it can get blown up like, oh my gosh, you know, she only works 6 months and she's making $10,000 a month. And that would be amazing. And I'm certain that it happens. But the reality is this is the real business and it takes time and it takes focus and it takes a commitment and it takes intention. So, you know, helping them understand that, right? Discuss their time commitment. Are they willing to put in part-time or full-time hours? What is that going to look like? If they have a $10,000 a month goal and they're going to say to you, I've got 2 hours a week to do this business, their goal does not match their time commitments. And I remember being in a class, I think I shared it earlier in this course, that they said, like, you either need to increase your time or shrink your goal. Right? So you can talk to them about the reality, share with them how you're building your business. You know, I was dedicated to 30 minutes a day until it really created enough income. But in that 30 minutes, I was solid. I knew exactly what I was doing and I got a lot of work done in 30 minutes that maybe some people didn't do in a day, right? Look at life and work and where they're going to fit their business in, right? Life and work are usually the reasons, the excuses behind why people don't succeed. They'll be like, well, you know, my family, this happened, or this happened at work. Work is usually the reason that people get disconnected from their business and their dreams. So what we want to do is respect these things as important. Like, where's your family time? What is your work hours? Now that we understand that, where are we going to find time for that business and how can we stay committed? And then talk to them. Does their time goal match their income goal? Now, talk to them about how important it is to treat it like a business. Talk to them about their goals and what they're willing to do to accomplish it. So these are important. And if you haven't really thought about these for yourself in the business, this is a great place to start. We always start with ourselves. When we do it, we can teach other people to do it. And you're going to share things like the success guide, or the hub is now what we would call it, and worksheets. And it's important to give your partner something to follow. So you might want to send them over the phase 1 guide and the first partner plus worksheet. But it is important, or if they have their target, their first goal is QSC, maybe that's the one you're going to send them to, or you're going to map out a game plan to sales coordinator if they want to build an income really quickly. So you want to give them something after the meeting to help them get moving forward. Now, the third part is to run through a startup checklist. Now, what's really cool is our hub now actually has a getting started checklist. So you could go on Zoom, they could log in and screen share, and you guys could go through it. You could sit down for coffee and go through it with them. You could do it on the phone where you're going through yours and they're going through yours. What I say to new partners is, hey, listen, we're going to talk about what your goals are. My job is to make this fit you. I'm not going to try to get you to do anything that you want to do, but it is my responsibility to make sure you understand how to use your account and what is possible. You then get to decide exactly what you want to do with it, because sometimes people don't know what they don't know. So make sure your new partner is in the partner in our team group. Walk them through how to use their website, share with them how to hit Partner Plus in the first 10 days. You can talk to them if they're really motivated about QSC. You can help them, talk to them about the 3-step system. We're going to share, we're going to add to the group, and we're going to connect them into something that's of value to them. And what's really great here in Canada is that we now have a getting started compensation video from the corporate office, and it's under boards, under team training board. You'll find it under the compensation plan. It's loaded as the very top board. It's orange, and it actually is our corporate office talking about those first few positions, showing them how to navigate their virtual office, where to find the hub, how to check their points. So a lot of that's already done for you. In fact, I started a new partner, sent her that prior to my call with her to help her understand her account. Said, hey, can you do me a favor and watch this before we do our meeting? And then that way, if you have any questions, I'll be able to answer them. You also want to help your new partner create a game plan and a mindset, if you can, for sales coordinator. Talk to them about the top commission level, how it benefits them, how they never have to go backwards. And from there forward, they will be really well compensated. Discuss how and where they're going to find new partners and customers. Talk to them about how you launched your business. Maybe you did an email or a social media post, or you hosted a launch Zoom or a Facebook party. And if you haven't launched your business yet, then do a launch, and then that way you can share with them how you did it. And you can do a launch a year into this business by saying, hey guys, I really wanted to test the waters before I made a decision, but this is my official launch, right? You can share boards and tools and how they have a great library at their fingertips. This also includes the hub, and you can talk to them about the events that they can plug into to grow their business. Maybe they're going to get on a team call that starts back in September. They're going to get on the next 2 Tuesday night calls with guests and be able to utilize those. So really, you're helping them map out a game plan. Oftentimes when we get partners, we think, well, why didn't they do anything? And we have to remember that they don't know what to do or how to do it. It's our job to help them understand how to navigate it all and give them the information and let them decide what to do with it. So at the end, the last here is end the meeting with specific assignment and goal. So oftentimes they'll say, okay, we're going to go for Partner Plus. Let's get that $150 bonus. And they know that's exactly what they're focused on. And I might say, do you have a few people that you could call right now? Or do you have a post that you want to get up on social media? I'll talk to them about how to do that. You can, I'll help them use the next couple of Tuesday nights. So I'll send them the flyers, let them know about that they can invite people to 500 families and get them on the calls. I'll also schedule a follow-up meeting, usually 2 weeks later, if I don't talk to them sooner. If I'm closer to them and know them really well, it might be sooner. And I do check in by text often. I make sure that they have, some sort of commitment in place to grow their business, whether it's 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes a day, whatever that is. I'll ask them, what is your preferred method of communication? Do you want to talk by messenger? Do you prefer if I text you, or do you prefer email? Because I want to communicate with them in their preferred way, not my preferred way. All right. And that is it for getting them started. So you guys will have a copy of this recording. So before we end off our session, is there any new questions that have popped up? I'm going to go in here and add the wheel of names. I've got to add Janice and Robin. So you ladies, because you showed up tonight, we are giving away another $25 Amazon gift card. And instead of doing it based on, actually I'm going to stop the recording.